Let's debunk information coming out of the Middle East.
So what do you
I think you're twisting facts here.
No, that's not the facts. Don't you think that Hamas is using patients as human shields when they use?
I don't know why you don't want to understand.
So let's check and see if the World Health Organization can back up all of their statements and claims. The truth is that this video made me very curious, and so I decided to go down a rabbit hole to try and find out the truth. I wanted to figure out who exactly is lying because, let's be real, they both can't be telling the truth. That's just not possible. So here's what I found.
Criticism by the Israeli government that the numbers of the Ministry of Health are the numbers of Hamas, and sometimes they play with the numbers.
I'm aware of the criticism, but we have a long history with the Ministry of Health in Gaza, and so far we have not had any reasons to doubt it. Heckling about 10% up or down doesn't serve the purpose.
So the WHO, the World Health Organization, has a long-standing relationship with the Gaza Ministry of Health? The truth is having a long history and relationship with a person or organization doesn't really mean anything. How could it be that the United Nations agency, whose mission it is to promote good health, to keep the world safe, isn't aware of the fact that their long-lasting relationship with the Gaza Health Ministry is a direct line of their relationship with Hamas? Let's take a look. Because since the beginning of this war, Israel has had the opportunity to interview former Hamas members who exposed the truth about what is actually going on inside of hospitals in Gaza. Take a listen.
عارف في المستشفى تبعك في كوادر طبية اللي هم جزء من الأصدقاء القسام؟
نعم هم اللي بعرفهم 16 واحد، ذكرت أساميهم كلهم وكل واحد إيش وظيفته سواء في المستشفى أو برا.
هم ناشطين عسكريين يعني؟
عسكريين.
منهم شوفي شو وظيفتهم في المستشفى؟
هو وظيفته إما طبيب، إما ممرض، إما مسعف، إما كاتب. يعني وظائف يعني رسمية، ولكن لهم وظائف أخرى في القسام.
The members and people running the hospital operations in places like the Shifa Hospital or others scattered around the Gaza Strip are not your regular day-to-day people. Not all of them are just regular hospital clerks. Many of them are Hamas members. They are paramedics, they are doctors, they are surgeons, they're clergy staff. They dress up as the people running and operating the hospital for numerous reasons. One, they run around as nurses and doctors and surgeons and have these official titles so that they make it look like they are truly part of the hospital staff, which technically they are. The thing is that they flawlessly blend in, and that is completely intentional. Two, they make it much harder for the IDF to operate inside of hospitals because then the IDF cannot always differentiate and identify the difference between an innocent civilian and a member of Hamas. If one of them, a Hamas member, dressed up as a hospital clergy staff or an innocent person, does in fact get caught in the crossfire, it immediately gets published that the IDF is killing innocent civilians. And this is, of course, completely intentional by Hamas. This damages Israel's public image, it's added to propaganda used against the state of Israel, and it just creates a larger fire when the majority of the people who don't actually know the truth behind the person in that hospital uniform, and it just creates a larger fire when in fact the majority of the people in the world don't actually understand and realize that the truth behind the person in that uniform is that they are a member of Hamas. Listen to the last part one more time.
Heckling about 10% up or down doesn't serve the purpose.
This is also far from the truth. What is Hamas's goal? What is their primary goal from a propaganda, media, and storytelling standpoint? To maximize their potential and sometimes even go beyond it, to make Israel look as bad, as evil, and at fault as possible. Their daily pulley system, where they're using 5%, 10%, or a 20% difference, or just choosing an arbitrary number to report to the public, is a loose, unreliable, and illegitimate reporting system which is 100% inaccurate. It's as simple to say that their pulley system, where they're just choosing 5%, 10%, whatever number that they want, whatever arbitrary number, is a result of false information. It's not true. And this very much does serve their purpose. Because no matter how not true it is the truest thing to the public eye. Take the October 7th attack on Israel, for example. 1,400 people died inside of Israel on that morning. 1,400. And what if the IDF just decided to say, hey, guys, let's bump it up a notch. Let's tell them that it was 1,900, 2,400. It'll just amplify things, guys. It'll make the situation more intense, more severe than it already is. And let's just toy with the numbers on our own watch when it's our turn to report casualties. But the difference here is that Israel has not and will never do something like that, because they pride themselves on being one of the most, if not the most, humane armies on earth. Plus, the IDF members that are reporting these statistics of Israelis and other casualties inside of Israel are IDF soldiers. They aren't terrorists disguised in IDF uniforms.
Many trucks and convoys on a daily basis get denied, get stopped, get hindered, do not get off the ground.
Who is stopping these trucks that you're talking about?
It depends what you're asking, saying by stopping. The deconflicting of the roads, that's the matter of the IDF.
So I'm just a bit confused now. According to the World Health Organization, the conflicting of the roads inside of Gaza, done by the IDF, is what's stopping the humanitarian aid trucks from getting to the people who actually need them?
المساعدات ما بيجوا للأمة ولا بيجي للشعب كله، ما في المساعدات كلها نازلة تحت.
Videos online show Hamas members stealing aid from organizations and Gazans. Some Gazans even try to fight Hamas terrorists, looting from the trucks.
It just seems as if this isn't true either. You cannot and I cannot provide one video, one piece of evidence that the IDF that has been and still currently is inside of Gaza is stopping the delivery process of humanitarian aid trucks that enter into the Gaza Strip. The presence of the IDF in Gaza has nothing to do with what is happening to humanitarian aid being delivered. And speaking of delivery, let's talk about that process and how it is being executed in the first place. Because if we also lose context to that, then how will the world actually truly wake up to the truth of what is actually going on the ground?
Hamas militants that take control over trucks, of aid trucks.
Look, I'm not a political analyst. I don't know how you know that they are Hamas. But anyway, maybe they are Hamas. Because obviously you saw the video and you identified the Hamas person.
But wait, what does he mean by, but maybe they are Hamas members? The debate does not and cannot end there. When it is the World Health Organization making the claim that it is possible that maybe the people standing on top of the humanitarian aid trucks are in fact Hamas members with rifles. And if they aren't Hamas members, who are they then? Who else is in the Gaza Strip then, getting on top of humanitarian aid trucks with machine guns, shooting at people, jumping, just trying to get themselves a case of water or a loaf of bread for them and their family? Why are they shooting at people if the people they are shooting at are the people who are supposed to be receiving the aid? There is only one answer. The answer is that Hamas are the ones controlling the import process of all humanitarian aid entering into Gaza. And they man the entire distribution process of those goods to go to the people, their own Hamas members, underneath ground inside of tunnels or above ground doing the fighting. When this humanitarian aid, when these goods are being delivered to the border of Gaza, it is called humanitarian aid. However, once it crosses the border and it is officially inside of the Gaza Strip, it is no longer considered humanitarian aid. It is now officially stolen goods and resources for members of Hamas.
Ambulance should never be attacked. A hospital should never be attacked.
Yeah, but it's a well-known fact that Hamas is using hospitals and ambulances for military purposes. So what do you
I think you're twisting facts here.
So the World Health Organization is claiming that facts are being twisted in regards to whether or not Hamas uses ambulances and hospitals for military purposes. It doesn't make sense for me to explain it to you. It doesn't make sense for the IDF to explain it to you. It doesn't even make sense for a geopolitical analyst to explain it to you. But you know who does make a lot of sense to be the person to explain it to you? How about somebody who was in Hamas in the past?
Don't you think that Hamas is using patients as human shields when they use?
I don't know why you don't want to understand. I am saying a hospital should never be abused for any military functions. If Hamas abuses a hospital for a military function, that's also not okay.
Why do you think if? This is a fact.
If it's not okay for Hamas to use hospitals for military purposes, then why aren't there other people shouting that too? Because he is right. It's not okay for Hamas to use hospitals for military purposes. However, they do, and they do not get held accountable for doing it. But he is making the statement that if they do, what if? How could it be that right now, for a long time, we have known that they are disguised as doctors, as surgeons, as clergy, as medical staff. And this is still a matter of if?
Certainly different ways of getting into a tunnel under a hospital than bombing the whole hospital into pieces. I would assume, although I'm not a military expert, there would definitely have been different ways than bombing hospitals to pieces. If that's a fact, as you are saying, then it's okay to bomb it, right?
Which hospitals are the IDF bombed?
You will know better than I do.
Can you name one hospital that the IDF has bombed? Can you name one hospital that the IDF has carried an airstrike on? Wait, what happened at the beginning of the war at the Shifa hospital? Look, it is about time that we debunk all of this nonsense coming out of the Middle East. It is about time that we expose the truth about who is lying to you about the Middle East. It can be some of the most well-known, accredited global and international organizations, such as the World Health Organization, who feed false information on a regular basis and continue to incorrectly and inaccurately represent the actual landscape of the Middle East in this entire complex situation. It seems silly to me to have to debunk an organization that is so accredited, so well known, and so large across the world, because their words, their statements, their claims weigh heavily on the world. And that is a very dangerous thing. And legitimacy is a very loose term, because in this video, I have actually shown you, no matter how large, how famous, how recognized a person or organization may be, they too might have an agenda. It is important that you always fact check the information that you consume and make sure that you consider all pieces of the puzzle before carrying a false assumption or false narratives with you and letting that also spread. What do you think? Who do you think is lying in this video? Comment below and let me know your thoughts. And thank you everyone for all your support, for every single one of you that tune in. This project is continuing to go on because of you guys. I'll see you next video.